gentlemen, we are back. Yeah. Y'all had a little bit of time to digest last week's episode because I'm sure I did. I enjoyed it. I'm going to make an admission off top. I did not watch the new episode of P-Valley, but I'm definitely about to get into it this week so that we can come back and talk about it next week. Actually, I think it'll probably be 2 episodes by the time we come back. So we'll at least have a meaty discussion on our hands.
Right.
But of course, I can't get started without the Queen, man. Shout out to the Queen, Euphoria. All praises be. They dropped your trailer this week, didn't they?
What? Did they? You saw that, right?
Wakanda Fab. I saw you out there talking.
You saw me off in there.
Give me that speed.
Down now.
Outfit, goddammit.
I was excited, right, when I saw that trailer.
Yeah, I had to hold back tears.
I was so excited.
It's dusty on here. Yeah. I'm not crying, you cried.
Will you be going to the movies to see that?
Oh, of course I am. I go to the movies for no real special reason. So Now I'm debating on whether I really want to be like, yo, let me go get my dashiki, ya mean, put it on and really put on the show. You know what I'm saying? Or should I wear like black spandex and
Definitely not that.
We don't. All right, that's so. You know what? It's crazy because when I was putting the rundown for today's show together, and I'm putting together the rundown for tomorrow's show, which is the Black Nerd Podcast, I'm sitting here like, what trailers do I put on what show? And I bad because it's like I try to keep all of the geeky Marvel stuff on the Black Nerd side, so you don't be overwhelmed with nerdiness. So
I like Marvel. I'm a Marvel fan.
Well, you might need to bring your butt on over to the Black Nerd Podcast.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do that too. Mm-hmm.
You got to come on over to our side and talk and get geeky with us. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Now, when you go Star Trek, that's when I have to exit stage left.
Take that off the rundown. I didn't know that was something that we couldn't. Let me talk. But yeah, I got you. Yeah, I'll definitely say that for the Black Nerd Podcast. Mm-hmm. But this week, based on our last week's show, if you guys checked it out, and shout out to those that have, and shout out to the individual that dropped a comment and was just he had some pushback on me saying there were no black people in murders
in the building.
Yeah, and he came up with one person, and I'm like,
the guy that was.
He found one black person. He was like, no, there is a black person. It's blah. Well, shout out to you. Hold on, let me give you some hand claps, man.
Right.
I thank you for even taking the time.
Right, because he did point that out.
You know what I'm saying? Whether you thought it was a joke or serious and you really need to go back. Let me go. I know I saw a black person somewhere in there. Hold up. Shout out to you for finding one, even though there's like 4 or 5 of them, but we're not gonna get into it. Today, I'm excited, man, to get off of the beaten path and into, this is one of the reasons why I wanted to do film talk, is because I love just different groupings of films that end up coming out at certain time periods. So like the 70s, after me digging around, I found out that they was getting freaky back in the 50s and the 60s and the 70s.
Yes.
And I'm talking about borderline porn stuff going on.
Going up to big poofy dresses and everything.
Yeah, man.
With the whole Harriet Tubman. No, not the Harriet Tubman. Harriet Olsen. Remember, she had the girdle. It take the whole corset girdle off and just get freaky. Yeah, it's real crazy.
Even I remember one movie when I was a kid and I went looking for where it was like an island where these like savage guys lived and they had bunches of girls in cages and they was all naked and they was doing freaky stuff. It was just like, yo, this is wild. The more I do research. But see, this week's episode is sex and psychos in film. You know what I'm saying? And this week we definitely we scraped the bottom of the film barrel to find some of the best and the greatest shows. And based off of the conversation that Queen Euphoria and I had last week, I watched Indecent Proposal so that we could probably have a review discussion. So for all of those from the black point of view.
Okay.
So So if you're black and you watched Indecent Proposal, you'll understand where we going with. And if you're not black, you'll have some fun with it. I'm not going to bring no racial stuff. It was actually a very interesting movie, even watching for this time period. I feel like this didn't age that bad.
Mm-hmm.
I personally
Still
feel
fitting, right?
Proposal aged very well. There was some stupid 80s stuff in there, but we'll get into it later on in the show. So look, don't go nowhere. We definitely talking about Indecent Proposal, and it's off the chain. But today it's Sex and Psychos. And Sex and Psychos is all about movies that had, look, I have rules. My number one rule about being a part of Sex and Psychos, you had to have more than one sex scene, and there's got to be nudity all up in it. So, like, you know what I mean? So that's the first requirement. And the second one is you're required to have some dudes or a dude or a person that's out of their mind running around in the film, either having sex or trying to kill some people, or something's going on where it's just retarded. So Sex
Right.
and Psychos. And I even, as I got into it, I was like, man, I'm finding all these different films. I brought a few extra elements into play, but let's just start. I'm
Okay.
Kim, give me some of your what you would feel like would be an example of a Sex and Psychos type of vibe for yourself.
Yeah, like the stalkerish type behavior. I don't have no rules where I gotta see this or see that, but I want it be to be suspenseful, off. Where I'm like really off my chair trying to figure out what's gonna happen next. That type.
Facts.
But I think that the suspense, along with a little razzle of the sex or whatever scenes, is fine. But long as I get the thought, I don't have to see the whole thing. That's really not needed for me to see the whole thing that's going on. But long as I get an idea of what's going on, and then turn around, see what he or she is about to do that's crazy, yeah.
So I'm gonna kick this off with Eve's Bayou. I mean Jason's lyric. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I done gave away one of my movies already. Jason's lyric. This is in being this guy was dealing with PTSD.
Mm-hmm.
You haven't seen the film. A guy comes back in town from being out of town for a long time. It's a black town. It's not the most racially friendly space. However, this young man is trying to move on with his life. He connects with a fine young Jada Pinkett. You know what I mean? She was about 4 feet tall and 20 pounds. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, girl. You know what I'm saying? And a love affair develops. However, as any old film happens, psycho stuff happens. I don't even know personally. Let me put this back on. I honestly don't know whether this was a thriller or whether it was a basic love film. This was definitely one of those stories. At the end of it, I walked away going, "What? What's going on here?" Like I'm not saying that it didn't complete itself and AB sex Y and Z. It's just there was a lot of sex. I saw a whole lot of Jada Pinkett. Thank you, Jesus. I seen a that I didn't want to see. You know what I'm saying? And it was just one of those tight joints. When I was a kid, I might have whacked off once or twice to it, but we ain't gonna get into that. And Eddie Griffin was in it. Forrest Whitaker is in it. A bunch of people. So give me your opinions.
I like the movie. I would not have that was one of the movies I would have not even thought of to put in this kind of category. But when you think about it, yeah, it was like that. Especially when it got to the end and the old boy just wilded out and did what we did all through the house. But it kind of left you. I mean, yeah, they ride off into the sunset, so to speak, but it's kind of like. I still felt sad at the end, that all that had to go down like it did and how it ended. You know what I'm saying? It was just like,
I mean,
but
what did you?
I liked it. I thought it was a good movie. You know what I'm saying? Because it gave every aspect of what was going on with that person. Like, um, what was his name? Bo King. That's his real name.
Mhm.
Um,
Is that
you know,
Bokeem Woodbine?
right, and how he just his mind was just off. He was
Yeah.
just off, and then
He
it was
was
like a tick tick boom type. He was just a ticking time bomb, and it was
right.
just waiting to happen. And then it got to that point where it just went off.
I say he went off. He's out of here like crazy. Now, this is the to me, this is the leader of the pack. This is the I find genre defining film of sex and psychos. Basic
Yes,
Instinct, baby.
yes.
Basic Instinct was that joint. You know what I'm saying?
Basic
Like,
instinct was that. That's the first one that came to my mind when I thought about Sex and Psycho.
yeah. And let me
And
tell
she
you
played
why.
it well.
That was joint where I was highly turned on and scared at the same time. She played that joint so cool, bro. She played that joint. She played it too cool.
Too
Oh,
cool.
I mean, and the twist at the end and everything that happened, I think they did. That is one of those. That was one of them joints where I
Mm-hmm.
feel like people didn't give it enough accolades, enough respect for what they was bringing to the table. You know,
The main word, control, throughout that
most
whole
definitely.
thing. She controlled the audience, whether it
Mm-hmm.
was a whole group of men or one
Mm-hmm.
person in front of her. She
Mm-hmm.
controlled her surroundings.
And she was just not playing with y'all. And this is the thing I really loved about. If you can put this back on film, the thing I loved about this film is at the end, it never really reveals. You don't know, like, did she do it? Did she not do it? Even though it leans to a certain, there's no, and that's what I love about films, especially like this, is that there was no definitive, this is what happened. This person is this. It leaves it up to your imagination, and it gives you a bunch of like unsubtle hints of, okay, she did it, she didn't do it, or she's a monster or whatever. But yeah, in that ending that film, you come out a little rattled because you're just like, yo, what is up with this chick, man? She
Right.
is on a whole different place. So and then if you look at like this scene right here, this is iconic.
Right. They played that scene so much. I
Woo.
remember like trailers and stuff. That was the
Yeah,
one scene they would always show.
got
Her
them white
doing that
was in there
shit.
sweating. Hold on, let me run that back a little bit. Yeah, boy, she
Yeah.
had
Yep. That was it. Right there. Yep.
gave y'all the gratuitous beaver shot. You know what I mean? Iconic moment. The moment where, if you all know about having somebody inside of a interrogation room, it's all about the hot lights are on you. They're grilling you. You're supposed to be shaking up and giving, spilling everything. She just in that joint smoking a cigarette, no drawers on, kicking it. And they can ask all the questions they want to. She ain't phased or bothered in the
Right.
slightest. You know what I'm saying? This is another one we didn't talk about last week. And when I remembered it and I found it, I got so excited. Eyes wide shut.
I haven't seen. Tell me about that.
Hold up. Hold up.
With
You
Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman.
never, well, hold on, that's the wrong one. You never saw this? Hold on, let me get the trailer. You bugging. You bugging.
I'm
Like,
wondering what.
bugging. Okay, so this is a film about Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman are married. They out here in these streets. I think they in like a new city. I think they were trying to like make a new friendship circle. I'm not exactly sure. It's been a long time. Only thing I know is that one thing happens, and that is, oh dang, they end up getting invited to a house party.
Okay.
Baby, all of that other stuff like that. Shout out to them for that movie. I definitely will recommend that to you.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out. When was
Yeah.
that made? Like in the 80s? It looks like an
Um,
80s film.
that's a good question. Let me look this thing up. Okay, Google. When was Eyes Wide Shut created? Okay, July 16th, 1999.
99.
Yep.
Really?
Yep. It wasn't that old at the time. Now it was old as dirt. But yeah,
Yeah.
man, that's back in Tom Cruise getting it on phase. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then he's got another one. Let's see. I know he's got. I have a couple of Tom Cruise. Now I did a search, and I was like, highly sexualized films of the 80s and 90s, and they put Risky Business on there. Are you familiar with Risky Business?
Do you think that was actually sexualized?
I don't really. I just think that is like the young white boy fantasy. You get 18, 19, you find out about an older woman, she lets you smash, and that's it. There really was no sex and psychos in the building as far as that one. So I really didn't do it. But I just want to throw it out there to kind of get rules. All right. Yo. All right. I know you remember this one. Monsters Ball. Hold on, this guy gets some hand claps. Because your girl Halle Berry's cheekies was getting clapped something terrible in that joint. I'm never came around to clap for that. And that movie was off the rip. That joint was what was going on in that film? Like it's literally what was going on in that film.
To me, it was the worst movie. I didn't really like the movie, but you watched it because of all the craziness that was going on. It was like chaotic. True. You know what I'm saying? And then she get an award. Yeah, then she get an award for this.
Yeah, she
got like one of her first awards, right? Yeah. Like in the beginning, and because we were talking about how, people have these controversial roles and they end up getting an award versus other roles that you might have thought that they would have gotten an award for.
When acting or contributing something of high value over time, like it wasn't because she did some great acting in that one, but did we need to see her vaginal opening for all of that? You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. Now, mind you, I enjoyed it, and thank you, Mr. Director, for insisting that she do that. However, she didn't.
It wasn't. To me, it wasn't necessary. It just felt like it was thrown in. Like,
but let's be honest. When we think about most of these films, those sex scenes aren't necessary.
Right.
Not necessary.
Right, exactly.
Yo, short, I need you to get Butterball, jump in this bitch, and let it, I need you to ride him. I let him do the doggy. Do we need all of that? Like, we could have had the silhouette. They've done it a million different ways to show you a sex scene, but it'd be like, the director be like, nah, bro, for the artistic integrity.
Right.
I need them nips out. Like, I need you to go ahead and drop that. Nah, we ain't doing pasties today. You know what I mean? Go ahead and let me see them cheekies. Right. So, but shout out to Monsters Ball for giving us the Halle Berry look. You know what I mean? Definitely all young lads out there who had a lust and a love for Halle. Like I said,
and the boy that was in that movie, I think passed away.
For real?
Yeah, I think that happened recently, like within the last year.
That's super crazy. All right. So let me get into the next one. Oh, excuse me. A Body of Evidence. Let me give me this my private hand clap joint right there. That's my joint right here, player.
Tell me about that.
All right. So I'm pulling up a clip now. So I spoke about it very briefly. Oh, let me get that out of the way. I spoke about this very briefly in the last episode. So pretty much this part of the game, this was done in the late 90s when Madonna was really trying to transition from music to film. And she had done a bunch of films at this time. This ended up being a smaller independent film that nobody, like even to this day, people really haven't heard of. But when I tell you she got butterball and nasty in this joint, Madonna has 4 sex scenes like this, getting completely nude, doing everything from, basic, heterosexual sex to light BDSM to, dropping the wax on a dude to like spankings to rough stuff. There is a lot going on in this film. She is pretty much, she was in a relationship with an older man. The older man dies during sex. So she is on trial for murder. And the lawyer, her lawyer, which is what's his name? I forgot his name. Good God, my guy. He ends up representing her in the film. And what is his name? Hold on. No, not him. Come on, boy, get your face on the screen. Him. What is his name? William Dafoe. William Dafoe is the lawyer, and he's representing her. And they end up getting into an affair. Now, in his defense, he's not married.
Okay.
He's got a girlfriend. Him and the girlfriend really getting along. They starting to, things is getting a little dry. You know what I mean? She caught an attitude one day and like kind of dipped out on him. So he was out here, he had some dry cojones. And then you get this hot chick that you're representing, and she is the definition of a free spirit. Like, she's just like, yo, I think you kind of cute, and hey man, all of the stress around me got me feeling a little randy, and she this dude for a ride, mentally and physically, and it's a highly sexual film. Do not watch this with your parents. Do not watch this with your kids. Do not watch this and be like, this is definitely something. If you want to Netflix and chill and you want to get it in that night, put this on, like, because
So is it like a suspenseful? Is it suspenseful?
Yeah. It's definitely it's a whodunit murder film. However, all of the fingers are pointing at her. And this is another one of those films where no, you do find out who the murderer is at the end of the movie, and it's definitely something I recommend. But
wow,
a lot of sex, lot of sex. Hold on, let me put myself on a big screen. A lot of sex. You get to see Madonna naked a lot. Like, yo, I didn't even know I wanted to see that much Madonna. Like, I don't think I want to see that much Madonna ever again. But shout out to Madonna. Like, yo, like, she really comes off of, she sells that sexually liberated. That movie, she gave it to you. Ooh, yeah.
Well, we all knew she had it in her.
Facts. One of my favorite films to come out in the 2000s, Unfaithful. Yeah. Richard Gere, come on now. He is a phenomenal actor. Mm-hmm. Huge presence on screen. And then you have Diane Lane, who is phenomenal in this joint. I think I have a trailer. Okay, did you ever see this one?
Yes, I did.
Can you take it away while I pull this up? Go ahead and tell us about this film.
Well, she's, they're really like they've been married for years. I'll put it that way. So they're a comfortable couple, kind of. So that's how I put it. When you get comfortable, and then she just happens to, meet this guy from Soho in New York, and a relationship builds, and she's like sneaking out the house to go see him, and then the husband ends up finally finding out, because he noticed the change in her and how she's bubbly and giddy and just, everything's just unchanged about her whole demeanor now. And then it's like he ends up, I think, getting a private investigator to follow her. And they end up seeing where she goes and goes through the whole thing. And the husband, out of his mental, I guess, how they put it, because he's so hurt to know that the wife is giving it up to somebody, and this young dude, and he see what he looked like and everything, and it just shows the mental state of the husband and how he's just like he like really messed up over this whole thing, and whether it was accidental or not, but he offed him. Guy was gone. He was just gone. And it was like, okay, now what we gonna do with this body?
Yo, I 100% agree with you. I feel like that's what, there's a turn that I don't want to give up. I want people to go and watch this film, but it does take a turn that I was not expecting to see. It took the film to took the film to a whole nother level, and I didn't even see Richard Gere in that light. So for them to write him to end up being that type of character, I really loved it. I thought that they did a phenomenal job. And The guy that they cast to be, the side dude is, I mean, pause no homo, but this dude is hot. Like, I'm jealous because I'm not even married to snagging shorty, and I'm like, I'm slapping this guy all the way up and down the street. This, you can't even talk to my girl, bro. Get to the other side of the room. I don't even want to hear you. Nah, he's a hot little hottie out here. You know what I'm saying? So like, and then she's a beautiful woman. She wasn't that old in the film, but they made her, she looked older, but they really sold the concept of her being like, yo, she's still young. She need to get her back blown out. Come on now. Come on, man. You need to be handling that minutes. So it was like, this is every man's fear. Right here. And they did it in an upper middle class kind of way. It wasn't tawdry. It wasn't disgusting. It wasn't like, yo, they met up in the alley and she dropped her panties and waka waka. Like, it was really one of those disgusting.
And it was realistic. You know what I'm saying? Like how she would slide out the house and, take the ferry, in New York and go to the other side, go sand and just come on. It was realistic. I just thought it because I could see a woman doing something like that, just and hiding it.
Who you see doing something like? Who you see somebody doing something like that? Who you see?
No, I'm just saying, just in general, I could see that happening. I could see that was like real. It wasn't far fetched to me. You know what I'm saying? I just saw that being a realistic type situation.
And I think that's what makes these type of films so great. And in this film is one of those rare occasions when the passion and the sex scenes come into play. It's not just for let's see her naked. It's really played up to really kind of be like, dog, why are you doing this? Like, you know what I mean? You're going through the motions. You know what I mean? You understand where Shorty coming from with her need and her being, but then at the same time, you watching and you going, damn boy, old boy, you ain't gonna like this. This ain't going to
go well.
Ain't gonna end. Like, you know what I mean? So you're going through this journey with them, and the twists and the turns that happen. Magnifique. I love white people problems when it's played out properly. You know what I mean? Because Big Mama wouldn't have had none of this, bro. You know what I'm saying? It'd have been machine guns and shotguns everywhere. It'd been a whole war with it if there was niggas involved. You know what I mean? Shout out to them. All right, so I'm gonna go to my next one. Really highly sexualized film, 9.5 weeks. I'm gonna throw some hand claps out here.
You really going old.
I bought this a couple of years ago. I've had this movie quite some time. Like I'm telling you, I don't know.
Like that whole cover looks like a porn flick.
I gave time of my life, even though they didn't play that in this film. So anyway, this is an 80s joint about a woman in New York City, because it's always a woman in New York City, and she meets a guy. I don't know. I think he's a millionaire or something. They allude to. They don't really get deep into what he does, but I think there's some explanation. He's well off, well-to-do guy. He's got some social anxieties. He's still kind of cool though. He's not creepy. He's just cool, a little different, and out of the box. So they have this 9.5 week affair. Like, you know what I mean? Now, she's not married, he's not married. So this is not a story of, somebody did somebody wrong. It's, to me, the reason why I love this film is that this is the first time in close to modern America pop culture where you start to see alternative lifestyle elements on the big screen. That's to me what makes this kind of important, is that you get to see the sexualization of them having sex with food around, and then he takes her out to the deep end and she ain't ready. Like, and to me, this is a phenomenal story of the reason why this is a greatest sales pitch for, if you ain't freaky in your heart, stay the hell up out of the deep end. Right. Just stay with missionary and doggy, because if you ain't ready for the you think you're gonna get curious and think that it's all about a little. No. It can get deep. And the thing about 9.5 weeks is that you see it go from normal heterosexual sex to it gets a little bit deeper, you know what I mean? It gets a little every scene, and it's about 6 or 7, once again, highly sexualized scenes, lots of nudity, there's a heavy levels of intimacy. I don't even know how this got an R rating. This is really almost like NC-17 for real. But it's done in a very artistic way. It's done in a very artful way. It's not vulgar. It's not disgusting. You know, there are some loving kind of romantic elements, but I feel like that was done intentionally to let you understand that this young girl's falling for this person that has no real space for her, like in love wise. It's like, yo, we have great sexual chemistry, we have a great time having fun together. This isn't about love. And even if he does have loving feelings for her, he could never love her in the fashion that she's expecting to be loved in return. For what she defines as normal love, he doesn't even operate or think in that space. So that's what makes this film very educational, but it's entertaining at the same time. And I feel like people walking into 9.5 Weeks really need to understand that people with alternative lifestyle choices and engage in sex in these manners, they don't look at the world and they don't look at love and sex in the same way we do. And this is a great example of that. I feel like 50 Shades of Grey was ripped off of stuff like this. You know what I mean?
I was about to say, how was the comparison with 50 Shades of Grey?
This is the real shit.
Like
50 Shades of Grey is some bullcrap. Like, if you really want to get into this, and my next joint that I'm going to talk about, which is The Secretary. This is definitely 50 Shades of Grey. The original 50 Shades of Grey is The Secretary, and 9.5 Weeks came before this. But these two films give you a more clear, well-defined, and it gives you different levels of it instead of just some billionaire coming in, swooping you up and, you know, lightly patting you or whatever, like stuff that they was doing. But we're going to talk about that 50 Shades of Grey in a little bit. But yeah. Those are it. What do you think? I don't. Did you even get a chance to watch 9.5 Weeks? Did you ever engage in that film at all?
No.
Encompasses that time period and brings it into play. It becomes a part of the story. You know what I mean? So like that whole world and how they enter into that world is done from a very genuine, specific way. It's not like, ooh, titties. You know what I mean? Like it's right. Really, you know what I mean? And it's like it's done very respectfully. And shout out to like, and it's weird that I'm so educated into this underworld, but having a lot of friends that engage in that type of thing, they appreciate this film because it doesn't make them look tawdry, it doesn't make them look disgusting or nasty. It's just real, and this is just real life for them, and this is how it's done. So yeah, shout out to that film. I want to move on because I don't want to get too far off base. We've got, where am I going to next? Where do I go to next? Let's bring it back to the blacks. Eve's Bayou. Did you see this one?
I did, but you know what? I didn't see that until I was a little older. When it first came out, I was kind of uneasy about watching it.
Mm-hmm. But why?
Because of the voodoo, or how you want to look at it,
yeah, the religious elements that are not
right. That whole part of it, I was kind of, but I watched it when I got older, you know, and I was like, oh wow, you know, this was wow. I felt, you know, the things that she had to go through, you know, was real sad.
That's so funny because they said the exact same thing in the write-up. It was like, yo, the character's journey in this film is just like, yeah. But to me, very haunting, very ghostly, hypersexual elements is there. I mean, I don't remember it. I remember seeing it a long time ago. It did not leave that much of an impression on me where I remember specific scenes and stuff like that. I just remember this was one of them nasty come on late at night joints. You know what I'm saying? Let's move on. A Perfect Murder. Ooh, Mm-mm-mm. This was one of them joints for me.
Here's the trailer.
Okay, I'm about to play it.
Here's the trailer.
Why you say that? Oh, you so funny. All right, let me get this joint popping real quick. All right, so what do you remember of this film?
Very little. It didn't leave an impression.
Oh, okay.
But I know I saw it because I remember the. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Hold on, I'm gonna play a little bit of sort of the audio so we can.
You have lost your sense of humor in your old age.
Ooh. Why you gonna call him?
Douglas was that one. Yeah.
He was that dude. He was in all of that. Yeah,
he was in them psycho films like that.
It's not right. I've got to tell him.
We waited this long. Let's just hold off so we can figure it out together.
What do you think Stephen would do if he knew about David?
Fooling around is the second oldest reason in the world to kill somebody.
Oh, really? And what would be the first?
Money, honey.
His company has been under investigation for almost a year. Sooner or later, your husband will be wiped out.
So if you die, he gets like $100 million.
Something like that.
That's not happiness to see me, is it?
He was waiting for me. Something's wrong. He knows.
You did not meet my wife by chance. She is in love. You're in business. It's called a con, and my wife is the grand prize. Now what? $500,000. Tax-free. It's for walking away from her? I said tax-free. I didn't say free. What's $500,000 for? Killing my wife.
Answer the damn phone.
That's not happiness to see me, is it?
Yes. So,
you know, I needed that refresher. Yeah,
that's definitely
but that was a good one. It kind of reminded me of Unfaithful, but then it had spin to it. You know, it was like.
Yeah, and I feel like it was way more intense, and it had not action, but it was the pacing was a lot better. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was definitely one of them cliffhanger joints. And it reminds me of another one. I don't know. Did I? Please, Lord, please tell me I downloaded the poster for it. Shit. All right, so there's another one, same time period. Do you remember Double Jeopardy?
Mm-hmm.
It's about another white is out here in these streets married. I don't know if this a husband or a wife dies. One of them dies. The other one goes to jail.
The husband dies. The wife goes to jail for it, and she's in New Orleans. And then she finds out that this joker ain't even dead.
Then she, wants to get her revenge, and it's like you can't do nothing because I already went to jail for murder.
Right, I done already did the time, so there's no thing as double jeopardy, and that really got me because when she was like going through the law library or whatever, trying to figure it out, and somebody, I don't know, I think it was another inmate told her or whatever about the double jeopardy. You already done did the time. You can't go to jail again. That's double jeopardy. There's no say you can't. That won't happen. So she already had in her mind.
Right.
When I get up out of here, it's on. It's on.
Yeah.
Because he had took, I think, her kid or something to where, she was like, well, where's he? What happened to him? And by the time she tracked him down, she found out he was in New Orleans, like a millionaire, flossing, having these lavish parties and all this, and she showed up in her dress. Like, oh, yeah, that was, I like that. I like that.
Man, we could go on and on and on. I've got a ton of these for real, for real. And you know what? I'm just gonna throw them on the screen real quick, and then we'll move on to the next segment. So like you got Showgirls, which was that joint. Did you ever see that?
Mm-mm.
It was 3 hours long, and it was It wasn't worth 3 hours, but shout out to them. Showgirls was interesting. Don't even remember what it's about. Don't care. Sexual Malice, sex so hot it's deadly. Definitely a B-rated joint. If you want to watch it, whatever. And let's see what else. I think I had some other ones that was on here that I didn't have a fly for. We got 50 Shades of Grey, and then there are 3 50 Shades of Grey movies. I don't need to show the flyer. Y'all know what the hell that damn movie is. I think they're like damn near $1 billion in the box office. So like, you know what I mean? So let's move on. Let me give me some hand claps. Let's move on. Ooh, Lordy Jesus. So our 10 list. 10 10 super sexy black films. The only requirement is it's got to have beautiful people and steamy love scenes. I'm going to start at number 10. I'm going to go with my favorite current love film. And I wish I was in love when I saw it. And I always wanted to watch this with somebody. Queen and Slim.
Oh, okay.
I bought that. I had a phenomenal time watching it. And I did shed tears at the end of the movie. I don't care how y'all feel about it. All right. Give me number 9, Kim.
Baby Boy.
Yo, hold up. Stop. Really? That's what we doing? All right.
Oh, yeah. We going there.
He did blow it back out something terrible.
What?
Hey, you know.
Even Vin Rames with his mama.
You ain't lying. You ain't lying. All right. I didn't see that coming. You got me on that one. Yeah. All right. Number 8, The Wood.
Okay.
That's one of my favorite ones. More of a comedy, wasn't really dark or whatever, but it had some good sex scenes, and it was definitely a lot of love in that. Go ahead. Well, number 7.
Do the Right Thing.
Okay.
It was too hot. You know, it got so hot that summer, everybody was getting butt naked.
That's
hot.
Number 6, Purple Rain.
Purple Rain.
Man, that bologna and those beautiful melons.
No, not the melons.
Oh man, I feel like the only scary scene on that joint is dude knocking his wife into a whole nother room. Yeah, that is an exciting. Like to me, you know Prince is the man.
That's it.
When he got these sexy love scenes and no dialogue.
Right.
Like he just got he might got a page full of dialogue the whole movie for real. Mm-hmm. Most of the movie is just facial expressions and cool little movements and shout out to Prince, man. R.I.P. to the GOAT, man. Yep. So you at number 5?
Love Jones.
Okay. You took my joint and ran with it. I love it. I'm with you on it.
Very sexy. The whole thing was just like, yes.
Most definitely. Yes. All right. I'm going to go with About Last Night. That's one of my favorite joints. Did you ever see that with Kevin Hart and the other guy? No, didn't like it that much.
It was okay.
I really thought that was really well, and I love
it came in a cluster of like cookie cutters. All the movies were kind of all seeming the same around that time, especially the ones that he was in. Between that and what was the other one? The Think Like a Man 1 and 2. Yeah, oh, come on, man. All of them was like boom, boom, boom. All of them came around the same time. I
agree with you, but I challenge you to go back and watch it again. It's it's special. It's one of those joints that I was really like, yo, this joint is really, really good. And I always wonder like why people didn't pick up on it more, but whatever, we ain't got a whole lot of time left. So like give me your number 3.
My number 3, Belly.
Ooh. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yes. At the shower, it was like multiple scenes all over the place. It was, yes.
Yeah, it was definitely one of them. Not supposed to be a love film, but
it wasn't. But they had their moments, and it was very memorable.
I'm gonna go with on number 2. I'm gonna go with Jason's Lyric.
Jason's Lyric. Okay.
Like I told y'all before, Jada Pinkett's cheekies got clapped a couple of times on that. It was definitely explicit as a mug. And I'm gonna leave you with number 1 on the list, fam. Let's go.
Well, number 1 for me was Insecure.
The TV show? I like how you rolled that up.
Yes,
I like how you rolled that up. I respect that. Because there was
that whole it was like it was steamy. And but anyone who has not watched Insecure, start from the beginning all the way to the end and watch the whole thing. It's really good.
Did you ever see The Photograph?
The Photograph of what?
Yeah, with Issa Rae. The name of the movie is called The Photograph.
No, I haven't.
I bought it and I still haven't watched
it. I heard that was good too, though.
Yeah. I heard the same. I just have not. I literally own it, and I just haven't had a chance to. I have had chances, but I never remember to go. Let me go watch this. I gotta be in a mood for certain romance films, and I'm like, if it's gonna be too heavy, I don't know if I'll be having the energy for it sometimes. All right. So that's our top 10 list. Make sure you hit up streaming right now. Watch all of them joints, or if you got your own, drop them in the comments section. That's so important. I need that interaction. I love it when y'all give me stuff. Right. Give me the energies. Give us the energies.
Tell us what you like.
Hell yeah, because we could be completely wrong. We are. Well, I'm old and archaic. She young. She a young hottie out here. I'm an old nigga. So like, So let me put on my job. Indecent Proposal. Oh man, gotta run this joint real quick. This is that. Ooh, Lord. This is our review. I gotta jump in to save my gentleman. If your girl, all right, this film is a prime example of you need to know how to deal with your girl when she come at you with something that you gonna know is gonna end the relationship. You laying in bed and she say, "I'll go out in the streets and trick, but I'll do it for you." You say no. And no matter how she tries to sell it, you say no. All right. If you are going to, and if you want to be stupid enough to allow this to go down, I was talking to the screen while I was watching. I watched this movie today.
Okay.
This is where the movie went downhill, and it's still real life. I don't want to do it, but I'll do it for you. No. You do it for you. Don't do nothing for me. I didn't say no. You don't go give up your body for me. No. And he's sitting there like,
he taking one for the team. He said, I'm going to take one for the team.
And he kept saying no. And she kept pushing. But guess whose fault it was at the end of the day? His. Because he was supposed to, no, baby, no. Don't ever do that. Da, 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 da. Let's get this review going. From Indecent Proposal. As y'all saw in the trailer, the whole premise is pretty much laid out in one conversation. And I would like to say that that's one thing I love about this film, is that you got the beginning of the story as you see the growth of a real relationship. They take you through a short time period of these two meeting in high school, falling in love, and becoming adults and being married. They go out, they obviously have real life issues like everybody else, like everybody about to go through. Recession hits, things get tight, and they need money to pay bills. He loses his job. You know, she's a real estate agent in a recession, meaning she ain't got no job for real. And they are struggling. And they I hate to say this, but they do the blackest shit I've ever heard of in my life. And we got some bread. Well, let's go to Vegas. What? We're struggling and we want to do Vegas.
Well, whose suggestion was that? His. So that where it.
And look, I ain't mean to cut you off. It's even worse than that. It was like 2:00 in the morning. Like he just woke up like, honey, get up. Get up, honey. I got an idea. I'm thinking, like, what the fuck? Y'all about to go plant some? Y'all about to be farmers? That nigga's going to Vegas. I said, nigga, if you don't get you gonna wake a nigga up at 2:00 in the morning for a Vegas idea? And the fact that she
ain't
ain't
in the car right now. Let's go.
If you don't take your stupid ass back to sleep, that's the first thing she should have said out of motherfucker. Fuck wrong with
That's why it's his fault. Because if we would have never went to Vegas, none of this would have happened.
That's all the way around Robin Hood arm blame. Yo, you went way.
We would never been propositioned. We wouldn't have had this conversation. We would just in this bed.
And we wouldn't have been stuck with all this money. You know what I'm saying? This film swings from being ethnic in thought to being uber white in thought. Yeah, man. Like, so anyway, give me all the wrap up. You know, these two grow up, they meet a guy, they have him financial, they meet a billionaire. You know, they have the conversation as you saw in the trailer, and hijinks ensues, or insecurity ensues, however you want to play it up. And I don't want to give you the end. So, give me your initial impressions from back in the day when you first heard about this film. Were you thinking, I'm gonna take my boy so I can scream at him at the end of this film?
No, when I first saw it, I was like, dang, people do that? For real? Like, I would never. That was my first impression. Like,
how old were you at the time?
Probably in my early 20s, late teens.
I feel like this film is different. I feel like a person's reaction to this film is going to be different where they are in their life. I feel like this film is, I get it. Yeah, this is,
you know. But then on the flip side, now at this point in my life, I would probably have to have a discussion. Like, let's talk about it.
I'm gonna be like, you want me to hold the video camera? Like, what's up? What you need me to do?
We get these bills knocked out.
I'm not worried. I've been with you so long. I don't give a fuck. Hey, go over there. Hey. You better go do your thing. Shoot, you talking about?
Want me to make you a sandwich?
Yeah. Right. You know what I'm saying? Let me hold your balls, homie. Let me hold you. Go ahead and do that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you crazy?
So you're definitely right. You're definitely correct. It depends on your situation at that time or a period in your life, what age you are. And that's why I think that particular age that they were during that time, it was like, okay, this is something that we got to think about. Maybe we need to talk about this. Because as you're getting older, you got all this stuff that you struggling, you trying to rob Peter to pay Paul, and it's just like, this is just one night, dude. I ain't out here tricking all the time. It's just one person that's gonna lace us with $1 million.
Mm-hmm.
Everything will be taken care of. We ain't got to work no more.
And then,
like you said, the insecurities get in the back of their head and play trick on you, and it's just like that mind is a terrible thing because it keeps playing and playing and playing and goes downhill from there. That's it. That's just where it's at. But whether somebody decides to do it or not, at that age, I think that there still would be a discussion. Like, it just wouldn't be no flat out, no, you're not doing it. No. We might be like, we might have to go in the room and talk about this, because because I need to hear your point of view, my point of view, blah blah blah, because we got some stuff to talk about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's kind of, like you said, where you at in your life at that time to actually look at it in a different perspective.
And I think the failure a lot of people will have watching this film, they would say, "Hey, babe, we got bills to pay. This is a great opportunity for us to do this. Look, I know you're good. I know you love me. I know we here. Even if we fighting and arguing, I know we here. Go do what you gotta do. Let me go ahead and kick it at the bar, or hey, let me stay in the room and cry or whatever. And I'm not gonna cry. I'm gonna be, only thing I'm gonna be doing is making sure, hey, you good, you straight. All right, that's what's up. I feel like the one of the greatest problems that came out of this, which is the same problem in every love film, is lack of communication.
Mm-hmm.
And
But that's
lack
that's a relationship, period. That's the main key to a relationship. If you're not able to communicate and trust, then it's not going to work. And that's usually the failure in most relationships. Either there's no communication or no trust. One or the other is a breakdown, and it's going to cause it to crumble. You know what I'm saying? So where you say it's insecurity, I still say it's both. I would still say it's both, because even with the person that is performing the act, they're mentally going to have to go through things too, and it can affect the relationship within, outside of what he or she did. You know what I'm saying? Because they're thinking about what they had to do in order to get this. Then it might be you ain't even had to do all that I had to do, and now you got something to say about this money. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. I did all the work. You ain't had. It's just other things that could come along with that whole scenario. That's why I said I think it could be not just an insecurity for the person that's not involved, but the person that is involved, what they have to go through mentally as well. Because especially for a woman, some women cannot be emotionless when it comes to sex. But then you have some that can. You know what I'm saying? But the one that might do it, and then here it is, you still thinking about the what ifs and the what coulda, shoulda, wouldas, and all that is what can play a factor in your relationship later on.
Now, getting into reviewing this film, what were the high points for you in this film, and what were the things you didn't like?
The high points was when they had to actually make that decision. Like when they were in that bed and having that discussion, and it got to the point where, okay, we're gonna do this or not. It gotta come to a point. Hey, what we gonna do? What you gonna do? And it was the decision. When she made that decision, that was the high point. It was just like, okay, let's see what's gonna happen from here. You know what I'm saying? The low point was his mental state and how it just really messed with him, and how constantly, as he tried to work through it, he couldn't deal with it. He couldn't deal with the unknown.
Word.
Because basically it was the unknown, because you don't know what happened in that room. But it's the unknown that messed with him. Did she do what she do to me type thing? All of that.
Right. Yeah, he asked the worst question all the time. He was like, hold her up. I got to know. And I'm thinking about, no, you
don't need to know. Right. Exactly.
Oh, this is not even, I'm not even going to tell y'all. Y'all need to watch this film. I'm going to tell y'all my personal opinion. I felt like the story was tight. I think Woody Harrelson did a phenomenal job. I think Demi Moore did I think all of the actors did a great job. I think the dialogue was phenomenal. I love the soundtrack. This film is a classic. It ages perfectly because it's not outlandish. It's not even out of the realm of discussion in this day and age.
Right, exactly.
And it would be worse if there was social media. But thank God we got to see this film without the effects of social media being a part of it. But I would love for somebody to redo this film in a modern setting. But This movie could be renamed putting love to the test. That's all this is.
Right.
This is a test of a relationship and seeing how your mate deals with the reality of the test. Your back is against the wall, bills have to be paid, and a solution that will not only solve the problems of your life, but could solve the problems of your next generation. An opportunity comes, but it tests the relationship in the process. Are you willing to, like, because some people aren't even willing to take the test.
Right.
You know what I mean? Are you willing to test your relationship to move forward? Are you willing to roll the dice and gamble or whatever? And the fact that they even put, gambling as a part of it, is just like an undercurrent of the whole thing.
It's a gamble, right? Exactly.
It's a gamble, this whole thing, and it was played out so well. And even the fact that was only really the beginning part of the film. The aftermath is what you sign up for in the film, and I love how they take you on that journey. And there's no real bad person. There is no, the billionaire is not even a real, he's not a bad guy at all.
Mm-hmm.
There are multiple instances where he could have just been a dick.
Right.
And now he did have a dick moment,
right.
But it's all in perspective. Like, if you're a business person, you're going to be like, well, you should have been on your game. And if some other people who are not business people would take it emotionally the same way the characters did in the film, and I'm not going to give away any details. I don't really have any downs for this, man. I really feel like this movie was very well done. I'm so happy that I watched it again nowadays, you know what I mean? Because now it's almost something where I want to start, hey, young dude, watch this and tell me what your opinion is. Like, this is definitely to get the squad together, let's watch this movie and let's have a table discussion about it, and let's start bringing everybody's opinions to the table. And to me, that's the definition of a great film. Is where no matter what time period it exists in, it's a great conversation starter.
Right, exactly.
It's just
time. Right.
You know what I mean? They put it on the table, and they're allowing you to draw your own opinions out of the film. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And you can have your opinions about each character, whether they handled it right or they didn't handle it right or whatever. I mean, beautiful film.
Yeah. And I think they picked the right actors and actresses because they fit it. You know what I'm saying? It was like, because Woody Harrelson, he kind of has a little edge to him, you know. And
he ain't a hottie. You understand? Like, he ain't no 4, but he ain't no 10. Right. You know what I mean? He a decent middle of the road white dude. And the billionaire ain't no hottie himself. You know what I mean? But he an older, slick, older dude. He know how to dress. He know how to talk. You know what I mean? I feel like they played each character perfectly, just like you said. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're right. You're right. That's what I was getting from it. And I thought that especially during that time period, he was attractive for an older man. You gotta think that's like that whole Dallas Dynasty era. You know what I'm saying? So during that time frame, he was considered to be an attractive older white man. So for him to come at her like that, it was like, okay, this is an old man for one. But he's attractive. He's dressed nice, got everything on point. So, that's where the appeal, the sex appeal comes from. It was just like, okay, this is not like, Donald Trump or some, old fogey looking ugly dude. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't busted. He was put together, clothes wise, everything. He looked like he smelled good. That kind of thing.
I wasn't ready for that, but yeah, the biggest thing I said, he's talking that talk. He was talking mad slick,
right?
You know what I mean? And he had that old, like, he exuded maturity, he exuded confidence. You know what I mean? And
that money made the confidence. And that's where the slick talk comes. When you have money like that, and you can just offer one person $1 million, that means you got bank.
Yeah,
that means you can talk crazy. That's where these Donald Trumps come from. Because at that era, you was making top dollar. So that money was power to you. So whatever you want, you got.
You got it, but even not that, like, cause to me, that's not he did it smooth, but that's the corny part. Just to him seeing her stealing a little chocolates and then walking in the little clothing store and being like, "Yo, you should try that on." You know what I mean? Like that was a smooth entrance. Like, yo, you should try that on. And she like, nah, you know what I'm saying? He's like, yo, you should get that. And she like, he's like, look, I'll get it for you. You know what I mean? And then she's talking about why. And it's just like, yo, you entertain me. It was just so smooth. Like I was just entertained by seeing you. I mean, it did something to me to see you wearing that. Like, let me buy that for you. It's just smooth. Like I was like, damn, I was about to take off my shirt and give it to him. Go ahead. Go ahead.
That was that smooth operator, that Colt 45 talk. That was just like that smooth.
Yeah, we need a black version, and we need my man, like you were saying, get him to come and play that role for real. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like have him be the dude. But like, yeah, I love this film. I think they did a great job with it. Man, like yeah. I recommend to everybody to go pick this movie up, watch it, buy it, add it to your collection. In my opinion, you can't tell me you're a movie lover and you haven't picked that up and watched it. Like you it's one of those joints. You know what I mean? It's definitely one of them.
For younger generation, I would say they probably might not have watched it. This is not their time period, but it's a movie that they should watch.
You got me sitting here thinking, because I'm thinking I could shoot the hell out of this. I could rewrite this script, put some black people in it, and I can find a way to make a broke nigga look like a millionaire. You know what I mean? And do this without a budget. So I'm thinking about that. But like, yeah, I like this film, man. I really did. So, all right. So, Queen, I appreciate you. Yeah.
No problem. I do want to throw in, since we were talking about this kind of movie. I was thinking about there's a documentary that's out now on Stars, and it's talking about, it says, who is Ghislaine Maxwell.
What?
It goes over her entire life, from beginning being in London to going to Oxford to when she ended up meeting Jerry Epstein and how that all went down.
Really? And this is like a documentary, or is it a movie?
No, it's a documentary. Like they actually interview like her classmates, people that she grew up with, all of that. And it goes through the background of her father and how he was, how she had money like that. And basically the father ended up dying, and now you gotta find a way to make more. You don't have no money now. So that's when Jerry Epstein came in, and she just went right on over there because she needed money. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it all about. You were already having that status in life, and now your father dies and all your money is gone because he had basically been what do they call, money laundering with his employees' 401k. He was another one of them ones, taking a retirement money and stuff. So it was wiped out. She had no money. So like, what am I gonna do now? I gotta find somebody I gotta find some money. My status is I'm about to be broke. And it all came into play. And just to watch, I just think about the power. When people have this type of money, the power that they have. Because she wasn't just doing this with Jerry Epstein.
Right.
She was doing this before she even met him. Slick stuff. Like how you was mentioning about these closed door type parties or locked door parties. She was having those. She was having them, and they be lasting for like a whole weekend. And this was when she was like just coming out of college. So I want to recommend folks to watch this documentary, because it just, to me, it shows how people, once you reach a certain status, it's still other things that you got to deal with when you're at that level. When you're at that level, you see other things that, you're not seeing down here. But once you, it's just different levels to what people are willing to do
Right,
when they have money.
right. Most
So
definitely.
I definitely want to recommend that, and maybe talk about that later.
Oh yeah, I definitely will. I'm gonna look it up, and then we can probably talk about it next week or the week after. So I'm gonna hurry up and get through these trailers real quick, and then we gonna get up out of here.
Right.
All right, y'all. All right, we gonna make this quick. What do you think? Are you a fan?
I'm not a big fan. I can't say that I am. I got through as far as what was his name? Lisa Bonet's husband.
He ain't in that damn show.
Yes, he is.
He is not. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right. I forgot. That was the thing that made him kind of legitimate. I forgot. Yeah.
Right, exactly.
But he was definitely a memorable person that came in. Oh, that's the only thing you remember from that show?
No, I don't. No. I remember when the now I don't know names because I'm gonna tell you right. I don't know anybody's name, but I remember the little boy was the king, and he was like ruthless, and he married the young teenage girl, and like treated her real bad, and just like he was just awful all the way up until he died. Just awful, So I didn't get too far into it. Yeah, I know I had books.
The first season was a lot of setup, but it had a lot of twists and turns. The second season is really where the ruthlessness of the show came to be, and people started to really. It's one of those shows where you either going to love it or you're going to hate it. You know what I mean? Great writing, hugely great character development. There's a lot. It's one of those shows that has a lot going on because you have so many main characters and they all have their agendas, and you're watching to see, well, does they get to execute the agenda? Does it conflict with somebody else's agenda? So ended not well, but 7 seasons of even like when you watch it, people that watched it and like, well, that's not bad. It's a good ending. It's like, well, when you see how good the first 6 seasons are, when you get to the 8th season and it ends, it's like, bro, if it wasn't on the same level of all these other seasons, then whatever. But this, to me, I'm encouraged to see it because I want to relive it. I want to go back into that world. I enjoyed watching the show because the way they built that world, I enjoyed it. Mm-hmm. The thing that I'm skeptical about is there was so much complexity in the first series because you have 6 storylines and then you have an overarching storyline that's super mysterious that you don't understand. So like when they kept saying winter is coming, it's these like zombie ice creatures that come from the north that are supposed to take over the entire world. So, but it's such a slow moving, scary thing that every season you're getting more and more nervous, like, yo, because nobody's dealing with this secret issue that's up on a mountain somewhere. And people keep saying, yo, when is coming? And they be like, yeah, whatever, when is coming? And then you see scenes with zombies is eating niggas and killing people. And you're like, yo, so and you scared because it's real. But everybody else in the show that's not getting eaten or experiencing it, it's just like, yeah, winter is coming, right? Sure.
Okay.
It starts happening, niggas going from to hell no, like, and then it just the whole situation goes topsy-turvy. So when you eliminate that one overarching theme and now you're just dealing with the squabbling, I want to see how that pushes the storyline along. There was a lot of surprise, mystery, apprehension, nervousness, and watching the show because there's so many tense things that you know about that the other characters don't know about. So when you get into the storyline now, this is more like a historical show now. All right, we're getting into why this family is popular. Like, all right, well, why did they become powerful? And how did they get control of dragons and all of this other stuff? So it'll be amazing to see that. But I'm nervous. I'm just being honest with you. I'll leave it at that. If y'all got any more additional stuff, throw it in the comments. Let's get to this last one, and we're gonna get the hell up out of here. This is Mike.
Who am I? People just see an animal. They call me a savage. I'm the most vicious, ruthless champion that's ever been. No one can match me. My style's impetuous. I'm ferocious. I want your heart. I want to eat your children. Praise be to Allah. Is that who I am?
Whether I'm right,
I gave you life. Now you heading down the path of a doomed child.
or whether I'm wrong.
It's coming, Mike. It's coming.
Whether I find a place in this world,
That filthy place. It made me become what I needed to become.
or never belong.
You Muhammad Ali now?
I'm going to be the youngest heavyweight champion in the world.
I want to live,
You got to be the meanest fighter God ever created.
not merely survive.
Don't you want to change your life?
And I won't give up
Your superiority will be undeniable.
alive.
They'll love you as much as they fear you.
You better keep on with it. The second you lose, they throwing your ass out.
This is all about immortality. About your name being known till the end of time.
I'll go alone, that's how it must be.
You're so desperate for someone to love you.
Be right,
The minute you get too big, they gotta cut you down. But don't be that monster.
gotta be free.
Be our king.
I just gotta be free.
If I wasn't the champ, who would still love me?
To try and live or die.
So, who am I?
I'm gonna
I like
Okay,
that.
okay.
I like that. I'm gonna have to watch that for real.
Yeah. I saw another trailer of this. Hey, stop it. I saw another trailer of this a while ago, and it didn't give me as much insight into the storyline, and I didn't get to see as much as I just saw, like the different stages of Mike's development. The actor portraying Mike's development. So him being skinny to being kind of medium to him being completely bulked up. I think that is like physical development is amazing. Like, yo, this is crazy. Like, he doesn't. No, he looks like him, but it don't look like him. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I like it. I like it the way he resembles him vocally. I'm just interested in seeing this. You know what I mean? What do you think?
I'm looking just to hear the backstory, the whole, background, and to see more detail. I mean, we kind of know, the gist of his background, but to actually see more detail, like you said, going from prison or jail and then coming out, transitioning, and getting into the whole boxing world, and the manager that he had for years, that stayed under him. Just watching the whole timeline, because we might know, but we might find out some things that we don't know. Much as he was in the limelight and on news all the time, but there's always a side personally that they don't tell. So maybe just to tell that personal side of his life.
Gotcha. Yep. Alrighty. Ladies and gentlemen, I definitely want to see. Do you want to review that when it comes out?
Sure. Absolutely.
I definitely would love to review that. All right. So anybody at home? Oh, you was about to say something? I'm sorry.
No, I said absolutely. That's all. Yeah.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, if you got any reviews that you want us to do, anything you want to talk about, please drop it in the comments. You know what I'm saying? Or hit us up on social media at BBC Life. Also, tell us what you thought about the episode, man. You know what I'm saying? Good enough. We love people's reactions and reactions. So, real quick. So, have your friends checked out any episodes yet, Kim? Like, have you sent it to your homegirls to get their opinions?
Yeah. One of them was commenting. So, yeah, they've been on it.
Got you. So I'm happy everybody's been getting involved and tapping in. So what do you want to talk about next week? I had an idea for an action episode. We get into like action films, or I feel like if we're gonna do action films, we should pick a time period. And you know, I'm always gonna go back to the 80s and 90s. So like, if you want to pick up, I will let you pick. What do you want to talk about next week? Let me shut up. What you want to jump into?
Well, no, I mean, we can do actions next week, but I eventually want to do black movies from the 70s.
Black exploitation?
Yes.
Oh, we can do that next week.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah.
You know, they had the baddest soundtracks, man. The music.
Go ham with them joints, man.
Yeah.
Hey, we definitely gonna talk about Superfly and the Mac, and you know what I'm saying, and Foxy Brown and Dolomite, and oh my God, there's so many. So yeah. Shout out to y'all. I can't wait. Thank you so much, Kim, for giving me that great idea, for putting it out on the table. So we coming back next week. So ladies and gentlemen, get y'all froze, get y'all hairspray together, get y'all
your fist in the air.
Your fist, if your fist pit. You know what I'm saying? Because we definitely going straight black next week. You know what I'm saying?
I might have me a can of Coke 45 on the side. Hey.
We're going to get some 40s. We're going to drink 40s on the show. Let's do it. You playing. I'm serious. I straight up have a 40 in this month. So, all right, man. Yo, man, y'all tune in next week. Real Reviews with your boy JS Wanna Supply and the beautiful queen Euphoria. We check y'all next time. Y'all be safe out in them streets. And let me get this. Yeah, peace.